Good day, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino beer review. Sorry, I'm just, there we go. There we go. Today you have the Rhino, and we're looking at a beer. Today's beer is from Bench Brewing Company, and this is one that I'm actually really intrigued about. This is an oaked Pilsner. An oaked Pilsner is 5% alcohol by volume. Its ingredients are water, malted barley, hops, oak chips, and yeast. Okay, so we got oak chips. So we're throwing oak chips into the fermenter. I guess you could throw them in the mash tun as well, but I don't think they would have. So what I'm hoping for from this is sort of like the original Innocent Gun is what I'm hoping for. I mean, I'm probably getting my hopes up, but the original Innocent Gun was like just an English bitter with oak chips, basically. But the oak chips were Grant's whiskey oak chips. They used what they called an oakerator at one point, which was the oak was inside and the beer would be continuously moved over top of it to saturate it. This is from Bench, so they're not using that, but at the same time, I'm curious about it. Crisp and refreshing. This premium Pilsner features noble hop character and a unique rustic complexity from the use of oak, which is really what I kind of was hoping for. And I like the wood here, and it's actually raised. It is wood grains, is what they're trying for here. It's raised and all that, so that you can feel each different line. I really like the look of this. Now, Bench, Grimsby / Beamsville. I do believe Beamsville is actually where it says it is, but it's like, yeah, Beamsville, Ontario. And I say Grimsby / Beamsville because they're a lot like, say, like Mississauga, Toronto. They're touching. Right, they're touching tips, if you know what I mean. They're touching tips. Ooh, I'm excited and pessimistic at the same time. Okay, so now a lot of times when you get a Pilsner, especially a craft beer Pilsner, it doesn't look like a Pilsner. That is a bright white head. That's a yellow color, slightly coming up the orange. It is almost crystal clear. There's a little bit of haze to it. So I mean, that's the one thing I would say is slightly different than most German Pilsners that I've had. And I mean, let's be honest, the majority of the German Pilsners I've had, or the Czech Pilsners I've had, basically the Bavarian area Pilsners I've had, are usually macro. There's not a lot of craft ones that get here. I have had a few craft ones thanks to my buddy Jason, so thank you very much, Jason, for bringing those to me. He went to visit his wife's family in Germany, and he brought back some beers for me, and a lot of them were Pilsners. I also had that one advent calendar a few years back that was like all German beers, and there was a lot of Pilsners in there as well. And they were a lot of craft Pilsners, and they sort of looked like this, where the macro ones are crystal clear and bright straw yellow and all that. And that's what I kind of think of when I think of a Pilsners. I think of those Pilsners, the macro ones, because they're the ones you see all the time and hear about all the time, sent out of the glass. Oh my god. So you get that grassiness, you get that earthiness, you get that little bit of spiciness that the noble hops give off, and there's a slight little bit of vanilla in there, a slight little bit of oak, vanilla, and the tiniest touch of coconut. It smells great out of the glass, out of the can. This should be better. It should be better, and I did give it a little bit of a sniff ahead of time, as you saw, but okay, out of the can, it actually doesn't smell as good as out of the shitty little juice cup I'm using. Out of the can, I get mostly just like oak, just wood. And usually that smells great to me, but at the same time it makes me a little worried. So let's try the beer. Slanche. Oh. light-bodied, easy drinking, room temperature, because that's how I drink my beer, let's be honest. Straw, slight malty sweetness, that slight earthy, cut grass, spicy, noble hop character. Then, a little bit of vanilla, and your palate gets dried out by that like tongue depressor type of flavoring. And you know what I'm talking about when you take the popsicle stick and you stick it on the back of your tongue, go, ah! That flavoring is there. All in all, I think what this did was take an exceptional Pilsner and give it a little twist, and I actually quite enjoy that. This is one of those things where I could buy a 12-pack of it, bring it to a party of either macro lovers or craft beer lovers. Everybody could enjoy it. I'm not saying you would love it, but you would enjoy it. And its flavors are subtle enough that you could drink it all night, but they're flavorful enough that you don't get bored of it. I actually quite enjoy this. I'm giving this an 8.5 out of 10. Thank you guys. Bench Oak Pilsner. Bye-bye.